Amen. Luke chapter 10 says, after these things, the Lord appointed 70 others also, and sent them 2 by 2 before his face into every city and place where he himself was about to go. Notice that, about to go. Then he said to them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray, put a pin right there, for the Lord of harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. And I'd like to use just a little bit of verse 3. Go your way. I believe that's enough. I'd like to use as a subject today, are you willing? Are you willing? Brothers and sisters, I declare to you today that God needs willing workers. Amen, by myself. Y'all gonna make it hard on me today, aren't you? Brothers and sisters, I need to let you know, God is looking for some people that want to be used by him. God is looking for some people that will let him have his way in their life. Question is, are you willing? Look at your neighbor, shake them, shake them. They had a rough night last night. Rough night. Amen. Shake them. Amen. Amen. They don't wake up calling me. I come down there and shake them. Ask them this question: are you willing? You know, it's a shame how a lot of people can see a problem but won't go out and try to help the situation. It's amazing how we pass by people we know on the street and say that they need to be in church somewhere. Yet we won't go to them and tell them that God loves them. Are you willing? Are you willing to be that person that can work for the Lord? I've learned that a lot of people can work, but they work on their own thing. Lord have mercy. But here in the book of Luke, we want to dissect, if you will, and break down who is required to work for Jesus. Who is able to work for Jesus? Follow me. Luke, the beloved physician, wrote one of the most sacred books ever written. Yet, he prefaces his story in the most unreligious manner, avoiding religious cliches. Instead, he sounds more like a secular historian. In fact, Luke wrote in a formal style of Greek, such as one would find in the work of a secular writer. He was addressing the world at large, claiming a place for Christianity on the stage of world history. Luke, however, didn't speak to the world on its terms, but in his terms. He clarified it. He did not mystify or spiritualize Jesus, but he made him touchable for ordinary people. He did not bind non-believers with mysterious language, but he made the message and story easy to understand. Such an approach stimulates interest among ordinary non-believers. As a result, Luke's gospel has been studied in an endless number of secular university classrooms. They appreciate his literary excellence and the message has been heard by people whom would likely not step into church. Brothers and sisters, Luke records the life of Jesus. He says here in verse 9 that Jesus had already sent out people. But it states in verse 10, chapter 10, that after these things, after spending time with his disciples, Jesus will now commission them for service. And as he does, we find in this chapter 3 clear qualifications for service. See, my brothers and sisters, we got an issue in the church. We think that just because somebody belongs to a church, that they're able to tell somebody else about the goodness of God. Wish I had somebody here. But if you don't know him for yourself, because I found out that there are some folk that are in church but yet do not know the Lord. Lord have mercy. Why do you say that, preacher? Because if they knew the Lord, they wouldn't come to church wanting their own way. If they knew the Lord, they wouldn't try to bite back anybody. If they knew the Lord, they wouldn't try to stab anybody in the back. So there are some qualifications. First of all, we are to be ambassadors for Christ. 2 Corinthians 5:20 says, now then, we are ambassadors for Christ, as though God were pleading through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf to be reconciled to God. For he made him who knew no sin to be sin for us, that we might become righteousness, the righteousness of God in him. So we ought to be ambassadors telling someone about the goodness of God. See, we all have a story to tell. Wish I had somebody here. If we would learn to tell a dying world how we got saved. If we were willing to tell a dying world how the Lord picked us up. Lord, I can't get no help in here. If we were willing to tell a dying world, I once was lost, but now I'm found. See, our lives are so secretive. We don't want nobody to know what we've been doing. Wish I had somebody here. Had an incident in Texas. We were trying to get a 501c3, making us a non-profit organization, and one of the members said, Reverend, I don't want 501c3 because I don't want the government to know what we're doing. And I looked at him and said, well, you got a Sam's card, don't you? I said, yeah, we got a Sam's card. Well, every time you go to Sam's and use that card, them folk know what you've been doing. Wish I had somebody. I said, well, you got a Blockbuster card, don't you? I said, yeah, but every time you use that card, them folk know what you've been watching. Wish I had somebody here. So many times we make excuses, but our excuses have no moral sense. Wish I had somebody here. Second, we need to be neighbors like Christ. James 2:8 says, if you really fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. You do well. When we learn how to love one another regardless of how we've been treated. Lord have mercy. Come on. You and me have the same mentality. Amen? Slap me, I'll slap you back. Amen? Y'all don't want to be real with me today. Talk about me, I'll talk about you. Amen? Treat me bad. We ain't got to the point now where you ain't got to speak to me. Y'all been in church too long. Now, I'm going to get past your Sunday attire. And I'm going to dig deep into your inner soul today. So some things might hurt, but they need to come out. Amen? So ain't no need you coming in here playing you holier than thou on Sunday morning when you know you can't stand that sister, that brother sitting over here. Amen? There's some folk in the choir you can't stand. There's some folk on the deacon board and deaconess you really can't stand. But yet, you want to tell somebody about the goodness of God. Ain't nobody listening to you. Because love is an action word. Wish I had somebody here. I don't want to hear about you love me. I want to see that you love me. Number 3, we ought to be lovers like Christ. John 5:2 says, by this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. Sister, say amen. Amen. You got a man that tells you that he loves you, but every time you turn around, he's cheating on you. You got to ask yourself, is that love real? Lord have mercy. Brother, say amen. You got a young lady that says that she loves you, but when you look at her phone, she done got a text from James and John, Peter and Matthew and Bartholomew and others. Harry and Tyrone, Leroy and Peter, Jim, James, and John. I'm through now. Y'all can leave the point? All right. You really got to ask yourself the question, is that love real? It's amazing how we in the church can come in here and say we love God, yet we choose to do our own thing all the time. Amen, Mama Son. We are his children. And a child never gets to do what a child wants to do. Wish I had somebody. A child never gets to just walk up out of the house. Don't tell nobody. They gone. You got to leave a note. You got to call. First of all, you got to ask permission. Which one of mine would talking about, I'll be back. Wait, what? Wish I had somebody here. There was a time when we couldn't even go in the refrigerator without asking. Y'all remember? What you in there for? Remember they don't give you a certain time that you can't find. Come on out there, you don't want nothing. Letting out all that cool air. Y'all heard the same thing, huh? Yeah, Mel tonight, shut that door. And we slamming my door. You get one, and that's it. They not for you to eat all up in one day. Look at verse 1 with me. He goes on to say, and the Lord appointed other 70 also. Now, here Jesus designed a group of 70 to prepare a number of towns for his later visit. The number 70 is found in the earliest Greek manuscripts. This number is significant, for it was, according to Genesis 10, the traditional number of nations in the world. By choosing and sending out 70 disciples, Jesus was symbolically showing that all nations in the world would one day hear the message. This would include Gentiles, an important point for Luke's Gentile audience. My brothers and my sisters, some things have to change. 11 o'clock Sunday It was the most segregated time in America. Lord have mercy. We have to learn, even if they won't come, to invite everybody to Jesus. I told you once before, there's not going to be an Anglo side of heaven and an African-American side of heaven. Our heaven is not going to be down in the bottoms, not going to be across the track. Their heaven is not going to be sitting on a hill. But when this life is over, we all are going to come together. And my question is, if we can come together up there, how come we can't come together down here? We got to reach out and let somebody know about the goodness of God. We can't pass up anybody because of their skin color. Lord have mercy. We can't pass up anybody because of their financial situation. It ought not matter how you come in, but thank God that you're coming in to hear a word. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations." You see that there? Baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The key is to go and reach everybody. But the question is, are you willing? Bible says, and he sent them 2 and 2 before his face into every city and place, whether he himself would come. As those who sent before him, the 70 were ambassadors of Christ, as was Paul. My brothers and sisters, we are also ambassadors for Christ. The 70 were to declare Jesus' first coming. We are to declare his second coming. Our call to be ambassadors is not only a high and privileged calling, but one with prophetic ramifications as well. So when we break out between nations, ambassadors are always called home. When war breaks out, they call the ambassadors home. And I'm convinced, brothers and sisters, that before God declares war on the world that rejected him, he will call his ambassadors home. Look at your neighbor and ask him, do you have a home to go to? See, that's the question. I'm going to bust your bubble here. Let me. You ready? Hold on to your seat, because this might shock some of you. This is not your home. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. This is not your home. You got a place not made with hands. You got a place where the wicked shall cease from troubling. You got a place. Anybody know they got a place where every day will be Sunday? I know it. You've heard it so much that you don't even pay attention, but it's a real place. But because we can't see it, because we can't visit it, we have trouble believing. But this is not your home. God has prepared a way for us. And if he has prepared a way, our job is to get there. But we don't want to get there by ourselves. Lord have mercy. We want to help somebody else get to where we are or where we're going. Lord have mercy. You ever been on vacation and you had such a good time that you came back and told everybody where they need to visit? Lord have mercy. Oh, I wish I had somebody here that understood. And you were so excited about the place that you couldn't wait to get there. Lord have mercy. And if you ever took a flight trip and you had a brochure, you learned all about it, and you couldn't, such as it is with heaven, you have your brochure in the Word of God. Said there's 12 gates. Said the streets, not paved but made Pagans mean that he laid something on the top. But pave means to go through and through. Say there's no need for the S-U-N to shine. For the glory of the S-O-N is shining bright. You know what I like about it? Every day is Sunday, and I ain't got to preach every day. Wish I had somebody. There's a river flowing through the middle of heaven. Say there's a tree there. Y'all know where I'm going. And just the leaf, this is only for sick folk right here. Just the leaf of that tree is enough for the healing of the nations. You got to know where you're going. So if I know where I'm going, I don't want to get there by myself. So I ought to try to reach out to any and everybody I can. Now, verse 2, he says here, then he said to them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Jesus set out the 70 not to sow seed, but to bring in the harvest. My brothers and sisters, people are ripe for the picking. A lot more than what we think. We've been given the opportunity and mandate to say to our family and friends, why don't you open up your heart to the Lord? It's amazing how we can come together and talk about everything else but the goodness of God. We can talk about what happened on All My Children. We can talk about what happened on One Life to Live. We can talk about who got arrested and got their name and their face in the paper. But when it comes to talking about the goodness of God, somewhere along the line, we've missed out. We ought to be able to tell our family, when you come to Jesus, you have nothing to lose but going to heaven. We ought to be able to lead our family and friends in prayer. Somewhere along the line, we've been intimidated by a lie. The enemy whispers a lie to us and tells us in our ear that people don't want to get saved. You don't need you talking to them, they don't want to get saved. You don't need you bothering with them, they don't want to get saved. They don't need you going out to the parks and having church. Them folk ain't worried about no church. All they worried about their next Bible. All they worried about is their next hit. But when you go out there and they ain't got no hit, you give them something that's great. Something that can take you higher than any joint you ever had. Something that can make you happier than any bottle when you give them Jesus. And then, brothers and sisters, I've come to find out that a lot of folk don't want to do the work. We feel it's for everybody else. That's for the mission department. That's for the deacons. But it's everybody's job to try to reach somebody. And I'm amazed how we can reach somebody when things don't go our way. We get on the phone and talk about what we don't like. Lord have mercy. We get on the phone and call folk that we wouldn't have called 10 years ago, but now we want to call folk to try to get as many people on our side to be on our battle. But what about sharing the goodness of God? What are you talking about on your phone? What are you texting? What are you tweeting? God has been good to you. God, yeah, thank you, Jesus, somewhere. He said here, the harvest is great, but the laborers are few. The laborers are few because people want to work their own way. Lord have mercy. When I drove, I had to deliver to some places I really didn't want to deliver to. We had to go and deliver and pick up some things from an institution that had cadavers. And they had 2 long tubs sitting in the middle of this room. And we had to pick up some things. Well, they didn't tell me what was in the tubs till I got in there. Help me somebody. And I walked in to the jar, and this smells familiar. They just laughing. This smells like formaldehyde. I said, yeah. I said, open up that tank right there. Now, I may be new, but I'm not brand new. I know a big, long tub and the smell of formaldehyde means that there are some dead bodies somewhere. I said, you open it up. I know what's in there now. I said, why didn't y'all tell me this? If y'all had told me this, I'd never come in. I said, that's why we didn't tell you. And if the Lord had told you the way was going to be rough, would you really be a Christian today? If he told you wouldn't have to suffer, you would have to suffer through some things. A lot of people don't want to work because they can't stand rejection. Lord have mercy. But what you got to understand, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the Lord. I wish I had somebody here. And they're going to have to answer for that one day. Bible tells you what to do. He says, shake the dust from your feet and keep on moving. Well, you can't carry a grudge because somebody doesn't want to hear you talk about the goodness of God. Somebody reminded of what you used. We all used to do something. The question is used to in your life. Second of all, we don't want to work because things have changed. Things may have changed, but the God that we serve doesn't change. The music may change, but the way to salvation doesn't change. The styles of dress may change. Lord have mercy. But the blessings of God never change. When we don't get so caught up in the method that you can't see the productivity of the method. Lord have mercy. I can remember when we would go home, they were working on a bridge. And so we'd have to bypass and go another way. Now, we used to go on 70 all the way back to Texas. But the bridge was broken and we had to bypass. And that little bit of road we bypassed went 55 miles an hour. And so, being the driver I complained. Some of y'all would do the same thing. It just don't make no sense. Why we got to go slow? I be glad. It's a shame that they gonna take forever to fix this bridge. Y'all know how we do. And we were so busy complaining that we didn't realize we got to our destination. Don't complain so much about the way other folk are getting to God, as long as they get to it. Lord have mercy. Different methods for different people, as long as you get there. Oh, brothers and sisters, he says, but the laborers are few. That's why folks don't want to work in the church. When we wear our feelings on our sleeve. Lord have mercy. We don't want to be rebuked. Who is he to talk about to tell me I got children? I'm not them. And it's amazing. I'm going to move forward. The laborers are few because it's amazing how we pray for a leader. Get a leader, and the leader doesn't do what we want him to do. So we think God has made a mistake and sent. Oh. Look at your neighbor and tell him it's not about you. It's not about you. Shake him if they ain't heard you. Shake him and say it's not about you. And our I will give you pastors according to my heart. Lord have mercy. Well, you know, they're not like the deacons of old. See, the issue when it comes to working is everybody is trying to tell everybody else how to work. Sister, but I can't go to your job and get behind your computer and tell you how to do your job. Wish I had somebody here. We got members trying to tell deaconesses what to do. We got members trying to tell deacons what to do. Everybody trying to tell me what to do. Wish I had somebody here. But if you pray, see, this is the issue. He says we have to pray. Pray ye therefore to the Lord of harvest. We stop praying and start dictating. A lot of African American churches today, we have too many chiefs. Thank you for finishing that for me. Look at this thing here. Look at this thing. He says, but the labors are few. Pray. Y'all see that? Look at with me again. But the labors are few. Pray. Y'all see that? We've stopped praying somewhere along the line. Lord have mercy. We've stopped praying for God's will to be done. And we start declaring what we want. That's why our lives sometimes are in such a mess. Because we're praying, and sometimes that thing that we're praying for is the wrong thing. We're praying for what we want instead of praying for God's will in our lives. Not my will, but thy will be done. Not my will, but thy will be. Lord, I want a house, I want a car, I want them both brand new, and I want them now. And when it don't happen, then now you hot. You stop praying. But he says, pray. Therefore the Lord of harvest, that he would send forth laborers. What are you praying for? Our goal is that his will ought to be done. Do y'all believe that today? You ought to pray, Lord, have your way in my life. Lord, there's some things that are going on in the church. I don't understand, but have your way in this house. Lord, there's some things that I don't understand going on in my life. I don't know why my children act like this. I don't know what's going on, but have your way. Instead of stop. Because I thank God for a lot of trials that I went through now. Lord have mercy. Thank God for a lot of tribulations that I've had now. I thank him now. I didn't thank him back then when I was going through them. But now I know when the next thing come again, I'm ready. See, trouble shouldn't catch you off guard. Lord have mercy. You got to stay ready. We got to always pray. You got to be ready to fight. Am I right about it? While you sleeping, the devil is trying to figure out how to get you, trying to figure out what to do to you. So therefore he grabs your knees and ankles. That's why you have a hard time getting up in the morning. But if somebody rebuke him in the name of Jesus, he'll leave your knees and ankles alone. Wish I had somebody there. That's why he getting your children. That's why your children act a fool in the morning. That's why they want to stomp out and slap. Oh, don't you slap me. That's why they want to be disobedient. Because we're not praying like we should. My brothers and sisters, we got work to do. Ours is not only a privileged work, but it's a problematic work to do. First of all, to the greatness of the task. Yes, the harvest is great, but so too the laborers are few. In this, Jesus paints a picture of massive fields, ripe for plucking, but with only a few workers laboring. So what are we to do? We got to pray. We're to pray that the Lord of the harvest will send forth laborers into his field. After, Lord have mercy, following the injunction of verse 2 to pray, don't be surprised if you are then called to obey in verse 3. Lord have mercy. Pray, Lord, I wish you send somebody to the hospital. The Lord said, what's wrong with you? See, the Lord is funny, ain't it? You know Sister So-and-so's in the hospital, and you, Lord, go by the hospital and visit Sister So-and-so, and then you go to the doctor the next day, and you got to go right past her room. And you're still praying, Lord, send somebody that I sent you. My brothers and sisters, after following the injunction, pray to the Lord. Pray to the Lord to harvest souls in your neighborhood. And guess who he's going to send to do it. Pray seriously for the area of the world in which your heart is drawn. And guess who he will send. If your heart is based on children, Lord, look at our youth. Somebody needs to talk to our youth. The Lord will put you in the midst of some children. Wish I had somebody here to talk to elevate and to strengthen. But he's not going to put you in that situation if you're not willing. See, because this thing is bigger than you and me. This thing is bigger than First Baptist. This thing is bigger than Methodist. This is a worldwide venture that we ought to spread the gospel. So it's bigger than you and me. But are you willing to go? That's the bottom line. Are you willing? My brothers and sisters, if you're willing, you ought to go share out with the dying world how truly good God is. What does it take for you and me to be willing? Well, look at your own life. Look at where the Lord has brought you from. I'm reminded of the house we used to live in. We had a house that had 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. I'm reminded that we didn't have a shower. But Mama worked it out where everybody got time in the restroom. Lord have mercy. I'm reminded that we didn't have the best food all the time. Sometimes we just had mac and cheese. Sometimes mac and no cheese. But through it all, the Lord has made a way. We never went hungry. There were some times that she had that pound of hamburger meat, and she had 5 pieces of bread. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. She'd take that hamburger meat, put it on top of that bread, and began to mush it all together. And everybody got something to eat. What are you saying? Says, look, well, the Lord has brought you. Some of you had to sleep with your brothers and sisters. Now you got a king-size bed and you can lay out like you want. Look how the Lord has blessed you. There was a time when you were walking to Walmart. There was a time when you had to walk to Brooks's, and now you got a little piece of car. Stop complaining about how high gas is. Put that $10 in there and ride on King Jesus. And ride about it. Look where the Lord has brought you. He brought us from a mighty long way. Let me tell you this, and I'll leave you alone. There were 2 strangers attending the same church for several Sundays. Nobody spoke to them. One said, I'll give this church one more chance. If nobody speaks to me next Sunday, I'll never go there again. The other man said, I don't like this. Church folk not speaking to one another. If no one next Sunday speaks to me, then I'll go up and speak to somebody. The next Sunday, the usher just happened to see both of these men, one in front of the other. As usual, after service, no one greeted the other. The first man rose, he got mad, said, I'm walking out forever. But when he stepped out the pew, the man that said, I'm going to speak to somebody, found the man who was walking out and spoke to him. Press it on. Are you willing today? Are you willing to be a child of the King? In order to be a child, in order to be willing, will you help me close this thing, won't you? You've got to understand that it's not my will, but thy will be done. If you won't will it, you got to be like Jesus. Jesus said in the Garden of Gethsemane, not my will, but thy will be done. And then when he put a crown of thorns upon his head, I can hear him say, not my will, but thy will be done. When they whipped him all night long, I can still hear him say, not my will, but thy will be done. Am I right about it? When they put a cross upon his back, and the cross was weighing him down, I can hear him say, not my will, thy will be done. Pick up your cross and follow me. When they got to the hill, they put nails in his hands and nails in his feet. But y'all gotta forgive me. I can still hear him say, thy will be done. Are you willing to go through some pain and agony for the glory of God? I can see him lifted up. I can see him stretched wide, but I can hear him say, nevertheless, thy will be done. The Lord showed me something early this morning. He said, you know those Pharisees that treated the Lord bad, when they lifted him up on the cross, they were still down here. So the folks that talked about him, the folks that mistreated him, still had to look up to him. Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? He died till the sun refused to shine. Nevertheless, God's will be done. Stayed in the grave all Friday night. Peter says that he left, the Spirit left, and he preached to those that know it's time. Nevertheless, God will be done. Will you help me close this thing for a second? Stayed in the grave all Friday night. Stayed in the grave all day and all night Saturday, but I still hear him say, nevertheless, I will be done. Anybody here willing to go through some things for the glory of God? Won't he turn your life around? Won't he pay you back for everything that you lose? Won't he give it back if you just give it to the Lord? What makes you say that, preacher? Look at I heard, he got up with all power in his hand. He gave us that same power. Are you willing to tell somebody about Jesus? Are you willing to tell the dying world? Let me tell you what the Lord has done for me. You don't know when and you don't know where. If you can't tell nobody nothing, there's one thing you ought to say. If you can't tell him how he made a way for you, there's one thing you ought to say. There's one thing you ought to say. I know you all right. Do you know him today? Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? All right. Are you willing? Are you willing today? Are you willing? Are you willing today? Thank God for that person that told you about his goodness. Thank God for mama and daddy. Thank God for grandma that woke you up, gave you a biscuit, and told you to go down there to Sunday school. If it had not not been, if it had not been, if it had not been, Lord have mercy, if it had not been, and might be the only one that can say it today, if it had not been, Lord have mercy, if it had not been, if it had not been, if it had not been, Lord. I gotta tell somebody, he said,